Hey traders, Mike Katz, 7 Points Capital. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the long holiday weekend with Thursday being 4th of July, Wednesday being half day. Most people didn't make it in for Friday, and even today felt very light. So action-wise, I think the SPY was really sideways. Lots of chop, lots of taking out lows, lots of taking out pivot highs, and not really going anywhere. And that's kind of expected. So I wasn't very active today. I didn't do a whole lot. I traded a few names. I stayed away from some of the more active ones. SOLY I didn't touch today. That one seems to be really strong. So on the daily, this is curling up from 12. If you look here, last time we popped was from 6. And I had only a 2-day pop, but then when volume dried out, like most of these low floats do, it faded back only to 12 and took off from there again. So technically, this seems to be a pretty solid bounce, even though I don't pay much attention to technicals on low floats because they're just so thin and so controlled that it's hard to get a picture of what's going on technical analysis, that is. So I just knew that I wanted to stay away from this on day one. Maybe day 2, 3, I'll look at it if it starts to stall out. Higher the better, and we'll go from there. On the desk, some traders did really well, mostly on the long side. Other traders did quite poorly on it, mostly on the short side. And overall, it was just a break-even name, I think, for the desk. So this was a pretty good avoid for me, and we'll see what it does the next couple of days. Fuel cell didn't do a whole lot, lots of sideways all day. NEO was one that I had on my radar. I traded it pretty well on Wednesday on the half day, and when there was basically a buyer that Wednesday in the dark pools, block buyer that interacted with large orders, and when he disappeared, I kind of left the stock alone, and he wasn't there on Friday or today. So I tried a little bit to see if he's around in the morning. Wasn't around, and I left it alone. But even without that buyer, the stock just took off and seems to have a bid. So right now, this looks like it closed strong, back to the 50. We'll see how it wants to behave when it gets back up to this consolidation, this breakdown point, and let's see how the volume profile looks on that guy there. Let's go to a daily. Yeah, so if we look at volume profile, we could see quite a bit of volume traded here over the last month or two, where this is now the point of control. So most volume that is traded is sitting in the money, and they're doing well. And I don't see any resistance until, some here, but some up here in this consolidation. And that's probably where I'll be looking to check the stock out again. So NEO didn't do much there. Traded some Amazon, came in with Amazon strangle, short of strangle. That was pretty good last week. And this morning it came in, it gapped down about $10 and closed really strong. It was solid uptrend all day, relative strength. So when it came in, I shorted some puts on the open, and that worked out well. Then I started looking at ROKU. But before we talk about ROKU, then I shorted some Amazon calls on a bounce. And, the stock's been strong. The stock's definitely had a bid, relative strength for the last few days versus the market. Let's see what the Qs are doing. You could see that Amazon is much stronger than the Qs, much stronger than the SPY. Amazon's definitely been stronger, sitting near all-time highs. So having such a strong trend, selling volatility in a name like this, it's not going to be easy, but on a day like today, I think I broke even or made a little bit in Amazon after everything, and I'm happy with that. On trendy days, on days where it's going to have follow through and I'm selling volatility, if I can break even or lose a little or make a little, I'm really happy. And then when we get a lot of those sideways days, that's where theta crush really kicks in. So that's been okay. But then I just constantly have to trade around and then take some calls off and roll them up higher and take off puts and trade around some positions. in order to just not be flat-footed and constantly re-hedging and delta hedging and using the stock also as a hedging tool. So happy with Amazon there, even though that wasn't a big winner. Then traded some ROKU. That didn't end up being a good one. Basically, felt like when it opened, I sold the 105 calls and then just took off from there. So I just turned it into a strangle by selling the 97 puts, and we'll see what the next couple of days bring there. So the nice part about trading this way is that you don't have to be right away. A lot of times the timing could be a little bit off, but the key is to just realize when I'm wrong and move on. ROKU could probably be one of those symbols where I should have probably just moved on instead of hedging and turning this into a strangle. What else do we have here? Got some Apple. Yeah, so Apple. Where's Apple? Boom, boom. There it is. So this one was downgraded by like a second-tier firm, and no big deal. The stock opened weak. So when it started to bottom out, let's look at 1 minute. When it started to bottom out here, I sold the out of the money puts by the $1 out of the money puts, 197.50s, collected $1.28 for those, and then on a bounce sold some calls, the 202.50s, turned it into a strangle, and then sold some more puts at $1, and we'll see where that goes next couple of days. Yeah, and that's it. That's mainly it. So some Amazon, some ROKU, some Apple, and some Netflix. Netflix, same idea. When it was bottoming out in the morning, sold some puts. And then when it bounced, sold some calls. And now I got a strangle there. Out of the money strangle, the 385, 365. And on a quiet day, I think I had a decent day. Not a huge winner, but just happy to eke out a small green day. So hopefully everybody stayed safe and enjoyed the long weekend. And we'll see if volatility can pick up the next couple of days. We have Fed minutes, I believe, middle of the week, and some earnings next week. So looking forward to that. Thanks for watching. Mike Katz with 7 Points Capital. Give us the thumbs up, hit the like button, and hit us with questions on Twitter. Thanks.